Hello everyone and welcome to Vlogmas Day 3. Today's vlog is going to be mostly a puzzle chat, but before I do that, I wanted to taste the jam. One of you was asking where I got this advent calendar. It is from the Bonne Maman website. I will link it down below. I did buy it pretty early. I bought this on September 18th was when they opened sales. But you can sign up for the mailing list and get notified because they do, I believe, sell out pretty quickly. Here is the day 3 box, and we're treated to another 2 rabbits. I also wanted to mention I'm wearing the microphone on a lanyard today. I'm going to see if this helps the sound. I've been having a few issues with the sound. I still want to use the microphone though during the day because it is so loud outside with all of the construction. They have jackhammers going and all of that. Really hard to pin to my shirt. So I think this lanyard will help. We shall see. Fingers crossed. Okay, let's see what jam we have for today. The lid looks a bit different. It looks pink instead of red. This looks like a pear jam, but I don't recognize the other words. There were some interesting translations that came up, but I think it's landed on plums and pears with star anise. Oh, it smells really nice. Smells like pear. The other two, you could almost like pour them out, but this one, I feel like the consistency is more like jelly than jam. I used to put my spreads and my cheese on the flat side of the cracker, but recently I've started putting everything on the bumpy side. I don't know if you have a side that you normally put your spreads on. I'm getting some pear. There's like a chunk of something here, so I'm gonna eat that and see what that is all about. I can't really tell if there's a plum flavor. I feel like if it is, it's very subtle or very like well blended. The star anise is very, very, very subtle. If you didn't tell me there was star anise in here, I wouldn't even know. But I think it does add something to the overall blend of the jam. It's very well balanced. I like this one a lot. Today's 31-day challenge exercise involves writing a list of your favorite ways to treat yourself that don't cost any additional money. When I thought of this exercise last year, I really created it with the thought of financial accessibility in mind. I wanted people to feel like they could do this challenge regardless of their financial situation, and I didn't want people to feel like they had to spend money. So that was my thought process behind creating this exercise. But this year, the exercise took on a little more significance. There's a little bit more nuance as to why I kept this exercise pretty much exactly as it was last year. The first thing is I spent a lot of money this year. A lot of my big expenses were necessities, but they were unexpected. So we had the issue with our HVAC a couple of times this year. The first time was the heat pump itself, and the second time was the fan. And then my computer crashed and wouldn't start back up again. So I had to buy a new system. This was back in early September. And then everything happened with Lulu, and we had taken her to the vet multiple times this year, even before her medical emergency. So our vet bills were really high this year. So because I spent so much money this year, I didn't really want to do a treat yourself exercise that involves spending any more money. The other thing I noticed when Lulu crossed the Rainbow Bridge was that I get very dysregulated around money when I'm feeling out of sorts. This was very apparent in the past when I was working full-time and very, very unhappy. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you'll know that back then I spent tons and tons of money. I felt like I needed to buy things to essentially fill a hole to try to make myself happy. Didn't work. I had to leave my full-time job. When I left my full-time job, I felt much more content. But I noticed when we said goodbye to Truffle, I went into kind of a financial tailspin. I did something very unusual for me where I designated one of my investment accounts, one of the smaller ones, that it would be like a fun account. So I would try to pick stocks in that account. It was an experiment that went very wrong. I'm not good at picking stocks. It took years for that portfolio to recover. I've since transitioned back to my usual way of investing, but that was a costly financial tailspin for me. And again, that happened because I was feeling so emotionally dysregulated after Truffle died. Something similar happened when we said goodbye to Lulu a few months ago. I didn't touch my portfolios, thank goodness, but I bought a lot of stuff that I don't really need, a few pieces of clothing. I bought the jeans that I wore on Vlogmas Day 1. I bought the white sweater that I've worn in a couple of vlogs. I bought a Jay's hoodie during our playoff run. And I bought this sequined top that you'll probably see me wearing on New Year's Eve. So I bought a bunch of stuff, not super financially impactful. But then hubby and I also booked a trip to Mexico. This was a big expense. So right after Lulu passed, I was thinking ahead to the winter. I was just feeling very sad and very worried about how we would feel when the days started getting shorter with the long nights and the cold weather. So I said to hubby, maybe we should plan something so we have something to look forward to during the long winter. I was thinking maybe like a road trip or a trip to Montreal again, or one of those spas that are nearby, like St. Anne's Spa and Grill Springs, which are in Ontario. But of course, hubby, he loves all-inclusive vacations down south. That's like his favorite type of vacation, I think. So he suggested a sun destination, and that's how we ended up booking a trip to Mexico. And the other thing we got, which you've probably noticed already, are tattoos. I had been thinking about getting a truffle tattoo ever since he passed, but I was very undecided on what I wanted, and this is just perfect. I love it so much. I asked the artist to connect their names with 2 hearts. So the hearts can represent Truffle and Lulu, of course. So one heart is smaller and the other one is bigger, and that's just reflective of the size of the creature, not how much affection I have for them. But the hearts can also represent me and hubby. Hubby got similar script, but he already has pet portraits on his forearms. So he had their names tattooed under his existing pet portraits. So besides the necessities, the big unforeseen expenses, we also made some more discretionary purchases, things that we wanted versus things that we needed. That's the other reason I wanted to bring things back to ways to treat ourselves without spending any additional money. So I was supposed to be doing the puzzle, I just realized. It's okay, I still have more to talk about. So let me get started on that. I could have been puzzling all this time. I'm not gonna mix the two today. I did that yesterday where I mixed everything together and it was fine. The pieces were very easy to separate because the puzzles are very distinct in their colors and in their style. So it doesn't really add that much difficulty. But since I completely forgot to do the puzzle just now, I think I will just leave the 2 puzzles separated and do them as standalone puzzles. That was a lot of preamble about the challenge exercise without me even talking about what I wrote. At first, I had a hard time thinking of what to write. I haven't really been enjoying the things that I enjoy as much as I usually do. I think the vlogging has been helping because I'm feeling much more like myself again. I started by writing the usual list of things like puzzles, coloring, picking out a book to read from the library. This could be at the physical library or on the Libby app. I also really enjoy reading on the exercise bike now. I haven't been enjoying walks as much for whatever reason. I hope I will eventually enjoy walks again. I liked them so much before and they were really good for my mental health. The other thing I've been loving is recording book reviews. So I was doing this almost with every book I was reading, but I fell out of the habit when Lulu passed and I haven't been able to get back to it. So I have posted 2 reviews since then, but I recorded those back in the summer, so they are not new videos. I haven't done a book review since the summertime, but I have been reading. So I've been trying to make notes and eventually I would like to record those videos because there are some books that I want to talk about, but a few of the books I am going to have to reread before I review them. Another thing that I love to do, I find so much relaxation in this, is playing games on my phone or on my tablet. I also like to watch YouTube videos with hubby. Right now, we're really into true crime. Specifically, we watch a channel called MrBallen. These are dark, mysterious tales, and some of the true crime ones are pretty horrific and pretty gruesome. For whatever reason, hubby and I are just really, really into that right now. I was into true crime when I was in high school. It's kind of like a returning to for me, whereas I'm not sure if hubby was ever that into true crime, so I'll have to ask him when he comes home. I already mentioned vlogging. I also love planning, organizing, decluttering, and deep cleaning, but deep cleaning only during the deep cleaning challenge. At other times of the year, cleaning is fine, but I wouldn't say it's a way to treat myself. Would the deep cleaning challenge be a way to treat myself? I think so, because I'm actually really looking forward to the deep cleaning challenge. There are a lot of things I want to look through to see if I can declutter. I also want to reorganize some stuff and to put some stuff away. Thinking about challenges made me think of this 31-day challenge that I'm doing now. That is a huge way to treat myself. I think of this as a little gift to myself. Napping is definitely one of the ways that I like to treat myself. I don't know if this is really treating myself, but I derive so much pleasure from finishing things and using things up. So this is mainly food and beauty products. When I finish something in the pantry, for example, or if I finish some of my skincare, it just feels so good. So I don't know, maybe shopping my stash would be a way to treat myself. Just looking through what I have and picking something to use with intentionality. When I spend time on self-reflection or when I make lists of things, that also feels like a treat. It feels like I'm giving myself the gift of time and the gift of thinking of things that make me happy when I'm making lists like these. I think it's because the self-reflection and the list making help me appreciate what I already have rather than seeking a solution or a comfort externally. But the last thing I thought of were my sticker collages. I also really love updating this little notebook. So I'm considering this a sticker collage as well because I'm using so many stickers in these spreads. Right now, I still have the notes on my iPad, but I am very excited to see what I come up with in terms of the spread for today. I want to see what I wrote last year. Walk was the first thing I wrote down. Puzzles, borrowing a book from the library, coloring, those were all on the list this year. Drawing was on the list last year, but I'm not too into drawing right now. Taking a long nap, catching up with a friend. I have all solo activities on here. I think I was thinking more hobbies rather than interactions. I have giving Lulu a hug. I loved hugging Lulu. I hugged her every single day. Sticker collages on here. Shopping my stash and pantry are on here. I thought that was a new idea, but I guess I thought of that last year too. Playing games on my phone, listening to music. I do like to listen to music, stretching and dancing. I do like those things, but I don't do them very often anymore. And watching YouTube with hubby. So a lot of the things were the same. I'm surprised last year I didn't write anything to do with YouTube in terms of vlogging and recording videos. I'm sure I enjoyed it last year because I have such fond memories of last year's Vlogmas, but I guess I didn't think of it in the moment. So I think the biggest change from last year is the walks. I'm just in a walking rut right now where I only go for walks if I have a specific destination in mind, an errand, or to meet someone. I'd like to get back to the long meandering walks that I used to do. Maybe if I can find a podcast or something like that. I am all done the puzzles. They are so much fun to do. I think I'm going to end off the vlog here because I've been rambling for quite a long time now and I want to get a head start on editing. Thank you all so much for watching Vlogmas-ish Day 3 and I will see you all tomorrow for Day 4. Bye!